Hello, hello. Welcome to the module of the whirlwind of worthiness or unworthiness. So, the aim for this module is to really get to the root, the pattern of unworthiness, to understand it at a fundamental level, and to understand and see how unworthiness shows up for you in your daily reality, and to see the pattern play out. This work is so powerful when you step outside of yourself. You see the pattern and you tap into the truth beyond all programming, beyond all limitations. And you see it for what it is, and you see that it never really made sense. And what happens is that fractal, that pattern, starts to unravel in your mind. And the looser it gets, the more it doesn't make any fucking sense. And then you're free. The fractal dissolves within you. And because that's not playing in your mind, you expand your range of what's available for you. Because right now, within your consciousness is all that you can see. And when we expand this fractal, when we break it down, the walls come down and you expand within. Excuse me. So that's what we're going to get done in this activation. So let's get started. Unworthiness is this belief. It's this feeling. You know the feeling where you don't deserve love, or you believe that there is a cap to the love that you can receive, or success, that there's a limit to what's possible for you with money and abundance as well. It's this feeling that some people are able to do that. Some people are able to have it all, but not me. You see that you feel as if you have these limitations that other people don't have on why you can't create something in your reality. And oftentimes you can't really pinpoint why, but it's just this belief. It's this belief that is so deep. It's so ingrained that it's like we know it's true. Like we deeply feel it's true. And it takes hold of us and it takes root. It's deeply ingrained. And it's within this belief that a fractal is formed. And it's this network of patterns that play out in each encounter, each relationship, each business, whatever it may be. So if you have a hint of unworthiness within you. That flavor comes out in everything that you do. Everything that you do. So what is it? You know, you hear all the time, you have to be worthy to receive. And like there's this aim to get to this certain destination that source, God, the universe, whatever it may be, or other people will perceive you and accept you. But do you have to be worthy? Is that true? Or is it just another mental construct? Is it another program that has been embedded in you to chase something outside of you? Is it just a belief that's not serving you and keeping you stuck? Keeping you waiting for the day where you feel worthy so that good things can start coming to you? We're going to break this down. We're going to break it down piece by piece, and we're going to unravel it completely. First, like, what does unworthiness look like? What does it sound like? And how does it show up? So I'm going to give some examples. And I ask you to just open your mind. Feel into these examples and see without judgment, without criticism, if this is showing up in your reality. Just the slightest bit is all it takes. Because if you acknowledge it and you allow that truth to come through you and we break that fractal, you open up to a whole new freaking world. So let's start. Maybe there is this sense like you're never enough. No matter what you do, you always feel like you're lacking something. You leave a conversation questioning if you were understood. You question if you were heard or you were seen. You question the value that you brought to the thing. Or maybe you end the day, you end the week thinking you didn't do enough and that you were lacking. It's this feeling of being incomplete or not whole. Maybe it's that you get compliments. You do get compliments. You do get love. You do get money. You do get support. But you feel in your gut undeserving of it. So you bypass the compliment. Maybe you have a story in your head that like they were saying that to get something from you, or that they were just saying it to please you. So you reject it. They didn't mean that. Or you get a compliment and you bypass it. You explain why like that compliment really isn't valid. So you sabotage the things that do come to you. They make you feel very uncomfortable. It's like the nervous system isn't used to that treatment and you can feel the tension in your body. You can feel yourself rejecting it. Who am I to receive that compliment? Who am I to receive that love? I didn't do enough to get that. That's the tone. That's the voice that shows up with this seed of unworthiness within you. It can also come through as hiding your true self, playing small, fearing judgment. And it's like this root sense of fearing that you won't be seen for who you really are. And if you do stretch yourself to be seen, maybe you do it with a sense of perfectionism or overachievement. Because there's this sense of trying to earn your worth through constant effort, trying to get people to see you. Or like there's this feeling bad for taking up space, feeling bad for asking for help, or for prioritizing your needs. And there's this sense of guilt. There's this sense of guilt for asking for what you need. This sense of guilt for showing up in your true power. So you people please, you cave and you conform, and you do things for others when you don't want to. All in an attempt to be accepted. Can you feel this? Can you feel this within you? Maybe you relate to one or two, but maybe you can feel it all completely. This is a fractal at play. It's this repeating pattern in which our life takes root. And it doesn't matter what you do. Like, this fractal was originated before you. It's like this snowflake. It's this pattern, this unique pattern to you. And that pattern plays out in everything you do. Take a step back. Take a step back and look at your relationships. Look at your money. Look at your success. And you can see, like, it didn't really matter where you were. Maybe let's talk about success. And there's this sense of chaos that occurs with your success. Or maybe it's love. And there's this hint of feeling guilty, because in all relationships, like, you wanted a deeper sense of it, but there was like guilt for acknowledging that. There was guilt for claiming that. Or maybe it's money. You can see that it doesn't matter what job you go to. You cap off at a certain amount. Your nervous system shuts down at a certain amount. And it doesn't matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. The pattern is there within you. But that pattern, just like a snowflake, it can just melt away. Down to nothing. And that's the intent of this activation, is to melt away this unworthiness within you, because it's not true and it's not you. Period. When this fractal is in place, we can often allow mistreatment because we fear we can't get better and that we don't deserve anything more, or that in order to achieve success, like we have to struggle, it has to be chaotic. All of those things. And it's in this scarcity mindset, this feeling unworthy of abundance or love, that lead to a pattern of struggle and sacrifice. Again, there's like this cap of what you believe you can receive. And it's this unworthiness at play. Thinking that to get more, you need to be better, you need to do more, whatever it may be. And that flavor wreaks havoc on your relationships, your business deals, your finances. Maybe it's subtle. Maybe it's subtle because it's become your norm. You don't expect it any other way. That is a fractal at play. It's a great illusion. It could be loud. Either way, if it's there, it's there. And there's so much power underneath this. There is so much power. There's so much potential. There's so much energy within this. Because can you see how this fractal shapes how you perceive your reality? It affects everything. The mind is a computer, and it will show you your belief systems every minute of every day. Every interaction is no more a printout of your state of being, of what you believe to be true about yourself right now. So if you are experiencing struggle, if you are experiencing rejection or sacrifice and all of these things, it is a mirror, mirroring back to you your consciousness. And if it's there, it's this undercurrent of all of your patterns and all of your problems. But where did it originate and how did it grow and how did we freaking get here? Like, let's talk about that. It was a question that I dug so freaking deep on for myself. And it's learned. It's not us, it's learned. It's learned programs, beliefs, and ways of being. It's a survival mechanism based on our early childhood conditioning. Maybe you were rejected for certain aspects of yourself, or you were neglected. Like the people around you were dealing with their own shit. They were preoccupied with their own doubts, and they didn't have time or attention or the presence that you needed. So you didn't feel seen or heard. So maybe you had to retreat and retract to protect yourself. Or maybe you had to like rip and roar and speak louder to get your point across. So you either stay quiet now or you fight for it. You fight for love. You fight for attention. You fight for affection. You fight for your right to receive abundance. But that's not natural. Abundance is your birthright. And abundance flows to you effortlessly when you are in your natural state. But you have this belief that if you were just you, flaws and all, if you were just you, it wouldn't do the trick. And it runs deep. It runs even deeper than what I'm about to share. But, Santa Claus is coming to town. You better not pout. You better not cry. I'm telling you why. Get the good grades. And then you'll get something. It's that conditional love. It even stems down to mom and dad, maybe. Was there a version of you that was loved? Maybe you were winning. Maybe you were the best. Maybe you were quiet, cute, pretty. That's when you got love, is when you were perfect. And then there were behaviors of yours that got you the cold treatment. There were conditions placed on you on how much love and when you received it. So you learn that in order to receive, you needed to meet certain expectations. And that learned behavior ends up being how we even love ourselves. How we even allow ourselves to receive love from ourselves based off of those same conditions that got us love in the first place. We suppress the parts of us that didn't get us love, and we deem them wrong. Guilt, blame, pride, and shame, moralistic thought and programming. That there's a good and bad and right and wrong quality of ours. But that's not true. It just is. For animals, they don't judge that a bird can't swim and a fish can't fly. They don't judge the pride of a lion or the intuition of a cat. They're not judged for those things. It's man-made, and it's not true. That moralistic thought and programming, meaning certain conditions are good and bad and right and wrong, it creates this sense of unworthiness. Thinking that if I struggle, if I sacrifice enough, then I will be worthy of expansion, whether that be spiritual, wealth, love, whatever it may be. And then subconsciously, that pattern plays out. So we seek suffering. We resist ease. And we feel guilty, like when life is smooth sailing. Maybe we sabotage love because, like, right now you're not at your prime. You're not at your best. It's like the stories of the person that worked the hardest, or the martyrdom mother who puts everyone first. You hear all the time, oh, she sacrificed everything for her children. She sacrificed everything, as if that makes her a good mother. And what it does is it creates this belief that the more she sacrifices, the better of a mother she'll be and the more love she'll receive. But it's not true. And it becomes this sense of thinking that suffering means you're virtuous, you're good. And if you struggle, you've earned your right. You've earned your right. What is even the thought of being good enough? Again, it's not in the animal world. It's man-made. What does it even mean? Who made these freaking standards? Who is talking there? It's not you. Can you see that? That it's been a belief that's been programmed inside of you. And this isn't something that we just experienced. It was installed into our system at a very, very deep level. And it's this loop. It's this reinforcement loop. Like, you have the belief, and your mind has to show you what you believe. So the belief leads to this constant reinforcement from the outside world, proving to you what you believe to be true. And then when you see that, you reinforce in your mind that it is true. And the more you reinforce it in your mind, the more the world shows you. It's a fractal. It's a pattern. And you can only see within that fractal because the mind reinforces it. So there's this range. In a world of endless possibilities, all the success, all of the wealth, all of the love, all of the connection, all of those things are available to you. The only thing standing in the way is this belief. It's a filter. And you can only see in the range of the filter the program within your mind. So the more you saw it, the more you believed it, the more you believed it, the more you saw it. It's a mechanism of the mind. It's brainwashing. It affects everything. And it's not true. It's an illusion. And it creates very real limitations. It feels really fucking real. But as that illusion dissolves, so too do the limitations. It has to. That's how it works. I know that it seems real. Your limits seem real. But it's a mental programming that's run on autopilot. Just like breathing. Just like your digestion. It's run on autopilot. In the moment you dissolve that, everything runs on autopilot, but you start to see differently. And you see that worthiness isn't earned. All right? It's not earned. It just is. But the mind gets trapped in this illusion, and we seek external validation to prove this belief. And again, it shows up like feeling unworthy of love. So you attract relationships that mirror rejection or betrayal. Or you feel unworthy of success, so you block opportunities and you settle for less. Or you believe it's as good as it can get, so you stay right where you're at. Or you believe that struggle leads to success, so you create hardship when ease is right around the corner. The reality works to conform the belief, and it keeps it alive that way. We strengthen it when we keep repeating it, and it becomes part of our identity. But it's not you. And it's time to break the loop. The impact is too great. Because you, my friend, you're fucking limitless. Those problems, those limitations you think you have, they aren't you. In the moment you see your power, you see that those limitations aren't you. You don't just change you change the generations after you. You know, the mother that didn't feel seen passes that same shit on to her daughter. And when we step out of this societal programming that struggle and sacrifice lead to success, and we reinforce lack, we step out of it and we create harmony, we create healing and a good life, and we give other people permission to accept shit with ease, accept shit with grace. There is no scarcity. There's enough to go around for everyone to have the maximum amount of abundance that they desire. There's enough for everyone. In this is how you hear that, like, if wealth was evenly distributed across all human beings, everybody was given the same amount of money, it wouldn't take long for the money to go back into the hands of the wealthy. Why is that? Because they believe that they're worthy. It's not even a belief, it just is. It's just natural to receive. And that's how it should be. There's no cap on love. There's no cap on money. There's no cap on success. We create the cap. There's just as much of that. It's just as available as the breath you take. But it's this illusion of scarcity that's been built into the system, convincing us that we need to work our ass off to get a little something. So we push harder, we work more, and we suffer. And the suffering leads to depending on the system more. And you can see the wealthiest live with the most ease. Because it's the programming, it's the belief installed into them. It's what they expect. So what do you expect? What conditions do you have around receiving? Because unworthiness is one of the greatest fucking illusions of all time. And it really sparked in the Industrial Revolution. where we once just had this inherent worth. But then the Industrial Revolution, like this external validation, this productivity, and this obedience is what got us what we needed. It's how our needs were met. And that program was passed down for generations and generations and generations. And I want to be clear here. This is a way of thinking. You do not have to adopt this mentality and this mindset. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, true or false. But I'm offering you up to think this way. And I should have said that at the beginning. If it doesn't feel right for you, then toss it in the bucket, but open your mind up to it. Try it on for size and see for yourself. Because you can choose to believe whatever you want to believe, and that will create your reality. But you have the agency, you have the authority to choose. And I'm asking you to try this on. See from a different lens. See if it works for you. Then you had the schooling system. It created obedience. It created self-doubting workers. You had value tied to your grades. You had to raise your hand to use the restroom. You looked for teachers for authority and permission and validation. They've rewarded obedience. How good could you be for them? How obedient could you be for them? How much could you suppress your play and sit in a classroom? How much could you suppress your self-expression and memorize facts? It created really amazing workers. Obedience gets you nowhere. Obedience tames you. A tamed you is capped. In self-expression, life is a game of energy. Life is a game of energy. It's not about obedience in fitting into society. True success, true love, true wealth comes from being exactly who you were meant to be. But that has been suppressed and shamed and whipped into how society wanted you in this reality. Can you see how deeply ingrained this is? But I want to share with you why I don't think it makes any fucking sense. You say, maybe I'm not good enough. I have to work harder. Whatever the story is, who is I? Who are you referring to? I. Think about that. When you say I, who are you talking about? Because that's not you. You're talking. You can see when you say I, that's who you really are. That's your higher intelligence. That is you being the awareness of this conditioned, this small self, this identity that we've created, this egoic identity that we've created based off of our past experiences, our societal constructs, and these belief systems. You are not the I that says, I need to be more disciplined to get more success. You are not the I that says, I need to be more beautiful before I can show up online. You are the awareness of the I. You are the observer. You are the consciousness. You are the witness. You are not that limited identity that you've been told you are. The I is this small self that's just been formed from all of this programming. Because at the core, you are energy. And energy, just like air, it doesn't have to be earned. It doesn't have to be validated. It simply just is. Nothing has meaning. You give it the meaning. The sun doesn't question if it has a right to shine. It just shines. We don't question our worth for oxygen. It just happens. A tree doesn't shrink just to and ask itself, like, am I good enough to grow? It just grows. The natural world doesn't have to prove their worth, and neither do you. You are because you are. It is because it is. The notion that worth is conditional is not inherent into who we are. It's this product of this man-made construct. It's this limited mind. And these programs in our mind convince us that we must be, we must do, and we must achieve more. I got so trapped up in the self-help world of thinking that I needed to improve, that I needed to heal, that I needed to do all of these things in order to receive. But that's conditioning in itself. You don't have to do anything to be worthy. You already are. Worthiness doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is energy. And if worthiness was real in something that you needed to earn, then some people would be like more deserving of oxygen than others. But oxygen is abundant for all who breathe it. There's no limited supply, and I know I've said this, but oxygen isn't any different than love and money and all of the forms of energy. Everything is energy. It's the meaning, it's the stories, it's the belief, it's the programming that has told us otherwise. There is no scarcity of worth. It's created in the mind. It was taught to you to control you. But it was never real. You never had to prove yourself. You were always worthy. You are right now. You were never unworthy. There was never a moment where your energy was less than. You were just taught to believe you were less. And that was the illusion. That was the programming. And we can change the program. It can be undone. And just by having this awareness, just by having this conversation, it's done. It's unraveling in your mind as we speak. And to go ahead and do the deep activation on a subconscious level is going to take this information even further into the deepest part of your mind. And to set the intention. Intentions are powerful. And to set the intention with yourself that I intend to unravel this completely. And pay attention and watch the things around you. And watch it all break apart, all shatter, to dismantle it completely. When you set the intent to do that, you will be brought opportunities to see differently. And it is your job to pay attention. It is your job to keep that intention. And watch and see how when it unravels and it expands your capacity, the shit you start to see come into your life. And I can't wait, because it's all yours. There's no question. There's no doubt. There never was. It's all for you, baby. So if you want to go deeper, hop into the activation and let's get that done. I'm sending you so much love because, again, allow yourself to receive it. Love you. Bye.